All right, good afternoon, guys. So, on my previous video on part 3 of our little fraction series that we've created here, on our previous session, we talked about a whole number divided by a fraction, okay? And in that type of division, we talked about, like, for example, if you have a total amount, right? And you know the size of each group, you're going to figure out the number of groups. And that's why you're going to get a whole number as your quotient. Okay, so we did a lot of measurement division. Okay, the big thing I want you to think about is there are two types of division problems. The first one is a total group in each situation or a total each group. So it's either TGE or TEG. Okay, and I'll get you another anchor chart to kind of see the big difference. So the big one we're going to focus on now is not finding the number of groups. We're going to find the size of each group, right? And we call this partitive division, and I like to call this sharing. This is the sharing division, okay? All right, so let me pull. I'm going to pull division of fractions. And I'm going to go right over here, and we're going to use bar graphs. All right. So let's say, this type of division problem, so I'm going to write it down. So we're going to focus in this mini lesson, we're going to do a total divided by my group, and I have to find my each. Okay, so like I discussed earlier, in our other previous video, we watched a total divided by our each gets me my groups. Okay, that was our previous video. We're going to focus on this type of division. Okay, so for example, let's say I have 1/2 divided by 2 whole groups. What is going to be the size of each? So let me give you a situation. Let's say that my mom, okay, gets an acre of land, okay, and she decides that, all right, Miss Schmidt, my name's not Miss Schmidt, but she says, okay, my daughter and my son are going to get half of the acre of land, right? So I start off with 1/2, right? And it's going to be split equally between my brother and I, right? So that's kind of the situation we're looking at. So first of all, we're going to start off with, well, how much do we have? We have 1/2. And we're going to split it equally between the 2 siblings. Okay? So when I split this 1/2, whatever I do to this part of my acre of land, I also have to do to the other part. And I want to do that because I want to see how much exactly, like what is the size of acre that I'm going to get. So in this situation, I'm going to put P is my brother. So we're going to put brother. And I'm going to put sister. Okay? So what is going to be the size of that acre that I get? All right? So, for example, on here, right, I'm going to get 1/4 because I want to look at things in relation to the whole. A fraction is a part of a whole. And so when we look at fractions, we look at its relationship to the whole. So if I'm trying to figure out how much land I get, I'm going to look at it as in relation to the whole. So if I look at 1 acre, how much of that 1 acre am I going to get? Well, I'm going to get 1/4 because when I divided this into 2 equal groups, I also had to divide it in comparison to the entire whole. Well, that means that I actually have 4 parts to my whole. So I have 1/4. I have 2/4. I have 3/4, and I have 4/4. Okay. So here we're talking about the size of each group. So that means my brother, I'm going to label here, my brother got 1/4 and I got 1/4. Okay. So my answer is 1/4. Okay. Let's look at another example. I have 1/3, and I'm going to split my 1/3 of soup, okay, and split it for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So, for example, I cooked soup. I cooked soup for dinner. My family ate 2/3 of the soup. I have 1/3 left over. So I'm going to take that 1/3 of soup and make lunches for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So that means I'm going to split this 1/3 and say, okay, this much and this much. And I'm going to write on here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So whatever I do to this 1/3, I need to do to all the other parts in order to figure out how much soup is there going to be for each day. So if we look on here, let's split it equally into my 3 parts. Okay, so what I notice is that for Monday, right, I'm going to get 1/9. And the reason why I know Monday is going to be 1/9 of soup is because I looked at the relationship to the entire whole. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 new parts to my whole. But on Monday, I'm not going to have 3/9 of soup. On Monday, I'm going to have 1/9 of soup. And on Tuesday, I'm going to have 1/9 of soup. And on Wednesday, I'm going to have 1/9 of soup. Okay? So each day, all right, I'm going to have 1/9. So I'm going to put in here 1/9. I'm going to get 1/9. All right? Let me show you another one. Here I have 1/4 of brownies. I had a birthday party. I have 1/4 of my brownies left over from my birthday. Okay. I'm going to go to work and give it to 4 of my coworkers. So here is 1/4 of my cake. I'm going to split equally my 1/4. Now, whatever I do to this, I need to do to the rest of my entire whole. Okay, I'm going to count the total parts to my whole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. My new fraction has 16 parts in the denominator. But to decide how much my coworker is going to get, okay, so coworker 1, coworker 2, coworker 3, coworker 4. Each coworker is going to get 1 out of the 16 parts. Okay, it's not going to be 1/4. And I'll even prove it to you because I'm going to grab, let me see if I have, I don't have one here. I don't think I do, but I could prove here and take my fraction bars and make 1/16, and you could see that the size of that part would be 1/16. Woot, okay, we got it. Same thing here. I have 1/4. Here's my 1/4. Okay. Here is my 1/4. Okay. I'm going to split this 1/4 into 2 equal groups. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my whole into fourths. After I cut my whole into fourths, I'm going to split each of my 1/4 into 2 equal groups. And I'm going to circle the 1/4. Because this is going to determine my numerator, and the entire whole, the parts of the whole, is going to determine my denominator. So first, I'm going to count. There it goes. Wait for that bell. First, I'm going to count the denominator. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have total of 8 total parts. That goes in my denominator. Okay? Then I'm going to cross these out because I'm only dealing with 1/4. This is what I have, 1/4. That's it. Okay. Then I'm going to look and say, oh, if I'm splitting between 2 friends, here's friend 1. Here is friend 2. Okay. So that means each friend is going to get 1 out of the 8 pieces. Ta-da. Okay. All right. So let me show you one more example. Let me see here. I think this one. So you can see one more example with a word problem. Okay. So notice that there's 2 different. So the first thing that I'm going to write is the 2 different types of division problem. I'm going to write total divided by a group gets me my each. And then I'm also going to write on here a total divided by a each gives you a group. Okay. So I'm going to be looking at my word problem to see which type of division I have. So it says here, the yellow piece is 1/2 of a foot long. If you cut the yellow piece into 4 pieces, how long will each piece be? So remember that this part of your equation is what's given to you. And this is what you need to find. This is what's given. This is what you need to find. Since my question is telling me to find the each, I'm looking at this type of equation. So I'm going to plug in my information. 1/2 is representing my total. That is what I'm starting off with. And in this problem, I'm going to be cutting them into groups of 4. So I need to figure out how much is going to be each piece. Okay, I'm going to take, so I already have my 1/2 already written. Okay, and I'm going to actually shade in my 1/2 to represent that this in the end is going to determine my numerator. The entire part of my whole is going to represent my denominator. Okay, I'm going to take my 1/2 and I'm going to split it into 4 groups. That's what this equation says. Start with 1/2, split into 4 equal groups. And I'm going to do the same thing for here. Okay. Then I'm going to label. Remember, I'm only looking for my each. The size of each one. Okay. And I only need to know, they only want to know one of the size. All the sizes are the same, right? So I'm only really going to look at one of these. So first I'm going to count. I have 8 total parts. Okay. And each size of these parts is 1 out of 8. 1/8. Okay. Ta-da. And there we go. Okay. I'm going to do one more for you. I have 1/2. I'm going to cut my 1/2 into 3 equal pieces. And they want to know the each. So I'm dealing with a total divided by a group, which gets me my each. Once I've written that down, I've written my equation, I figured out which one's the total, the group, and the each, I'm going to start working on it. I already have my 1/2 already created. I'm going to split it into 3 equal groups. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm only going to look at So I'm going to look at the entire thing to find my denominator. 1, 2, 3. Let me take out one of these. I put too many in there for you. I'm going to count the total parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 parts. Then, okay, if I have 6 parts, my answer is going to be 1/6 because I'm dealing with 1 out of the 6 pieces. Let's see if our answer is right. Woot woot! It was right. Okay. All right. So that is this one. So again, we worked with having a total as a fraction, and we're finding the size, which is so if we start with a fraction, we're going to end with a fraction, right? And that makes sense when we're using our TGE strategy because that fraction is telling me the size of each group, okay? And we're given the group and we're given the total. And sometimes we do have leftovers when we're cooking. So think about if you have leftover materials and you want to make something, if you have leftover food, if you have a leftover, so not everybody gets 1 acre of land. You may start off with 1/2 and you have to split them equally between your siblings. If I have 1/2 of dog food left in a bag and I have 4 dogs and I have to split it equally amongst my 4 dogs. So there's all sorts of different situations in real life, especially birthday parties, all sorts of things where we divide with fractions. So dividing with fractions is so fun. You don't know you're doing it, but you're doing it the whole time. All right. If you have any further questions, please let me know. Bye, guys.